Yeah.
I would love to know like how you're balancing both of the things, or how does your daily routine look like?
You can balance both of the things, but the thing is that I wasn't happy in the corporate world anymore. I found it too demanding and I actually got sick. I got actually physically sick. Yeah, so at the moment I've got a 12-week course which I'm running, which I've developed and I'm running, and that's
Yeah.
one-to-one working with me every week for 12 weeks with some support in between.
So, guys, welcome back to the new episode. And today we have Hana with us, and we are going to discuss about Reiki healing, what different type of healings looks like, and some practical knowledge like how you can get started and how you can go deeper into this industry. So, Hana, thank you so much for getting on this podcast with me and for giving me your valuable time.
Thank you, Chitan. So good to be here. Nice to meet you as well in person or virtually. Anyway, lovely to meet you.
Definitely next time whenever you come to India, like you have to visit Assam. Like it's a beautiful place, and
Is
I'm
that where
going
you
to.
are? You're in Assam?
Yeah, I'm in Assam, right?
Okay, I've never been there. I've been to India. I've never been to Assam, so I would love to come. Right, yeah.
That's awesome. You should come. It's amazing place. Hannah, so before getting started, like I wanted to know one thing from you, as you are doing a lot of things in your life, you are hosting retreats, you are doing multiple things. How this journey get started? Like how did you come to this industry? How you get started? Would love to know about that.
Yeah, so basically, I just had a very rude awakening. I was deep in the corporate world, and
Right.
PR was what I was doing, public relations and communications for many, many years. And but I was kind of becoming disconnected from that for a long time as well. And also for a long time, I'd been learning spiritual things like readings and how to do readings from some really great masters. And basically there was kind of like it wasn't one lightning bolt moment.
Hmm.
It was a lot of like pulling away, like the whisper was becoming a roar, like I have to, at some point switch from corporate to
Yeah.
doing the spiritual. It was like a
Right.
line crosses over in your soul, and you
Yeah.
just know that it's time to change, even though it's a bit scary and maybe you haven't done it before. But I started exploring energy healing and intuition and all the invisible layers of life that we all are awakening to at this moment in time. And once I opened the door, there wasn't any going back, really. I mean, my spirit said, it's time now. It's time to do this. So
Hmm.
that's kind of how it happened. And I guess the main bulk of that came to a head this May, not even that long ago. Like this May, since last November, it was really a pulling away. And then this May was like kind of the finish line for the corporate stuff for me, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Even
Well,
though I'd been doing
Hannah,
readings for many
yeah.
years. So, yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Hannah, I wanted to know, like, there are a lot of people, like, I do podcast on a regular basis. So there are a lot of people, they told me, like, I get awakened at that point of time, or that was my awakening period. And, like, then my life totally changed, and it was a different thing that I saw. And that is how my awakening journey looks like. I wanted to know, like, for the people, like, what does awakening means, and how we understand, like, we are awakened, or, like, what does this term means to you? For
Yeah,
the audience.
that's a really good question. I think awakening is a kind of a buzzword that everybody uses at the moment. And
Right.
what does awakening mean? It means you kind of you feel something other than the five physical senses. You realize there's more to the world. Maybe what the religion that you were brought up in or the culture you were brought up in doesn't resonate anymore, or maybe it resonates deeper. You suddenly really want answers. And this
Yeah.
is like a thirst for the soul, you become really you really want answers. You become your own Sherlock Holmes, and you want to know what is why is my life not making me happy? What is truly going to make me happy or contented? And it's something you just can't ignore anymore, because your intuition wakes up and it's like a GPS. Your intuition is like a GPS. And
Right.
actually, that is the real life. The real life is not the structure you have day to day. That's just what you've molded because society has said that or your family has said that. But the real awakening is a deep stirring of the soul, and everybody who goes through that feels it. Sometimes it's very uncomfortable, sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's a realization that
Mhm.
suddenly life cannot stay the same, that it has to change if you're going to fulfill. It's actually your soul just kind of waking you up. You have to you have to go on a different path now, you know.
100%, 100%, it's correct. Like I can feel that myself. Like there was a time in my life where I started questioning for every single moments that was going on in my life. Like why this is happening, why I'm doing this. Is there any reason of doing this? Is this making me happy? I'm doing it from inside, or is there somebody who is influencing me to do this particular thing? So I think this is a symptom, like when you start asking questions to yourself, like this is the time you have to understand, like the universe is inviting you and you should start working on it.
Yeah,
uh
that's absolutely. Sorry, can you see me, Chutan? It seems a bit
yeah, I can
blurry.
see you.
Okay,
It's
that's it. That's
perfectly
better.
fine.
I don't know what happened there. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I think awakenings, like I said, they can be deeply uncomfortable for people. Maybe if you're rooted in a family that's very strict, religious or something, it
Yeah.
can be, it's hard. It's like you feel like you're the only one, you're uprooting your family or something like
Mm.
that. But the thing is, I think the universe has given you, the universe, when I say universe, I mean God as well, by the way. That's what I mean. I
Yeah.
don't just mean, uh, some vague notion. I mean God, the creator, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
however you want to see that, you see that way. But it is often something that is deeply painful, and sometimes you have to go through your own shadow as well, your own healing, because to truly become that path, you do have to face your own stuff to truly do it. I mean, some people don't, but I did. I had to face a lot of anger issues from my past, and
Hmm.
I had to realize that those things are no longer serving me. They serve my little inner child, but they don't serve the adult that I am today. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of people will have similar things happen to them, and
Yeah.
then it becomes a little bit scary. It's like, how do I climb the mountain that is myself? You know, that's the question. But you have to trust the universe that the right help will be given to you, the right teachers will appear, the right situations will come about, the right groups or whatever it is that you need is gonna unravel before you. It's having
Hmm.
faith as well, I think.
Right. And as you told us about, like, you're talking about God when you're talking about spirituality or the universe terms. So,
Yeah.
what do you think about religion and spirituality? Do you think these two terms are similar, or do you think this is totally different thing? Like, different people have different opinion on this question. Like, I would love to know yours. Like, what is your opinion on this?
Okay, well, obviously there's a lot of dogmatism in some religions, and
Yeah.
so it's a world away from being deeply spiritual. I mean, I was listening to an Indian guru, actually. I can't remember his name, Guru Dev or something. I can't remember his name. But he was talking about religion being the banana skin and
Yeah.
spirituality being the banana inside, you know. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe that's a great analogy because um, it's religion is very often the outside, and
Yeah.
it's like dogmatic rules. It's like whatever's going on in the church, for example, or whatever. But
Yeah.
there are some very deeply spiritual people in those zones, so we can't judge everybody, because I've come across some very deep intuitive Christian people who love Jesus so much that it's beautiful. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of people love to say I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, but to be honest, even with spirituality, you have to hone it in and shape it
Yeah.
to your
Yeah.
daily life. Otherwise, what is the point of being spiritual? You have to make it into something that makes sense to you, and that you can every day implement to make your world bigger, influence your family, or whatever you have to do. I think that's how it's done. So I'm not going to judge anybody in any boat, but I do think that obviously you can just have to watch the news to see the problem with religion. But I
Yeah.
think deep spirituality is often more of a deeper awakening. It's the banana inside the banana skin.
It's a very good analogy. Like I can understand that because there are different type of religions. People are following different religions. Like there are Hindu, there's like Christians, Muslims, and different religions. But spirituality teaches us that you are like there is a single thing in the universe, or you can say like there is one creator who have created this entire universe. And like
Yeah.
yeah, I can definitely relate with it. Hannah, like there is one thing, like the lot of comments that I get from the viewers. So people think when you are going to the spiritual path of your life, you start disconnecting with your work, with your corporate world, or the life that you are living. and it's totally a different route of the spiritual way or the
Mm.
living beings or like how the daily lives looks like. So I
Yeah.
would love to know like how you're balancing both of the things, or how does your daily routine look like?
You can balance both of the things, but the thing is that I wasn't happy in the corporate world anymore. I found it too demanding, and I actually got sick. I got actually physically sick, and my doctor signed me off for many months because I
Mm,
couldn't cope with the stress of it. I was getting very bad headaches and migraines, and they had to do an MRI, and they found evidence of that. So they signed me off. They were worried. Um, but not everybody. I mean, I just reached total burnout. I reached total burnout. Not everybody goes through that. But it's like a conflict in yourself, right? And it's up to us to unravel that conflict. And it can
yeah,
be done. There's many people that do corporate jobs that are spiritual, that maybe do meditation in the morning or prayer in the morning, and then they do yoga afterwards and they unwind. But it's at what level are you at? Are you willing to accept some of the negativity that you get in the corporate world? Because there is a lot. There's a lot of demands on KPIs, key performance indicators, and
yeah,
on if you don't meet them, suddenly your value drops, or they think you should go out, or that's incorrect. That is not what your soul came to do. It didn't come to measure you against a KPI. So the most important thing is you're able to measure yourself, and
mm,
if you will know if you're meant to leave or if you can cope with it and still continue to live your spiritual life. It's possible to do both. I did my stuff for 20 years or something, and at some point it just was too much. It was like that's it now. I might still go back if I get a
yeah,
good contract that I really love, but it
right.
would have to be in alignment with who I am now. You know.
100%. At the end of the day, it is very important. Like if you are happy or doing that or not. Like if you're not
Yeah.
happy from inside, like you're making a lot of money, but like you will feel alone.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly how I felt. I felt alone, and I felt alone. I'm not going to name any organizations or anything, but I felt alone in the organization. I had one or two friends I would talk to, but
Yeah.
I felt like nobody understood me, and I was on a different path, and that caused physical stress. So
100%. I can relate with that as well, because in my life, like I have done different type of thing, but right now I own my own business. I'm running my business. Apart from that, I'm doing whatever I love to do. Right
brilliant.
now, I have just booked a villa and I'm just sitting with my team. Everybody's working over there and I'm taking the things that I love to do, like podcast with you.
Yeah,
So like we
amazing.
can get the freedom, and spirituality helped me a lot in getting the mental peace that I needed.
Yeah,
But like from you, I have heard a different terms, like that is like the practical mystic. I
yeah.
wanted to know more about that. Like, what does the term means, and like I would love to know more.
Yeah, so at the moment I've got a 12-week course which I'm running, which I've developed and I'm running, and
Yeah.
that's one-to-one working with me every week for 12 weeks with some support in between, and that's called the Practical Mystic. So it's basically about changing, bringing your soul into the small stuff, into the daily stuff. It's not about escaping and going to a mountaintop or being zen 24/7. That's impossible anyway, but it's more about creating energetic boundaries, in your emails, or grounding yourself before a meeting, blessing your home while you're washing up. It's all about protecting your energy like you protect your PIN number. It's about
Mm,
presence. It's about bringing your presence. It's not about perfection, right? And spirituality isn't actually separate from real life. I'm sure you know that, Chetan, right?
yeah.
Spirituality is real life, and it's lived
Right.
with awareness, self connection as well, because
Mm,
sometimes we don't even, like in the corporate world, sometimes you can be called to do things that you don't feel connected with at all, and
right.
it's just a task you have to do, and you just don't feel connected with it. And I don't want to be disrespectful to the corporate world, because I did learn a lot there, and I enjoyed some of the wonderful stories that we put out in the media, and they suddenly it was on Sky News or BBC, and that's exciting. It's exciting to watch that. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's also about feeding who we are really inside us. And sometimes for a lot of us, our career is very different from our calling. And that's important to recognize that as we grow. You know, it's important to, like you said yourself, doing what you're doing and you love it. Your team's in the other room. It's that's what really gives you the buzz. It isn't even about the money or anything, even though of course money is important. It's about fulfilling your soul's destiny and knowing that the money will come. You know.
100%, 100%. Like, there is one myth in the market that is going on about spirituality. Like, let's say, let's take an example of Reiki. So, in Reiki, we tell people that we can heal people with the energy that we are getting from the universe, taking it down, and with our hands, we are like healing a person with the energy, with the nature energy.
Yeah.
But like, have you heard about that example? Like, there is an example, like if you are having a migraine or something, there is a doctor who have called a kid and just given him a tablet that have nothing. It's just a
Like a
normal tablet.
placebo. A
Yeah,
placebo.
like placebo effect. Yeah. That you are thinking that I'm getting the healing and I'm getting the healing, and that is the reason like you are getting healed or something. So there are a lot of people in the market, like they tell us that it's a placebo effect. It's nothing called as energy or something.
Hmm.
What do you think about that? Like,
What, whether it's a placebo effect? I think,
no,
I
I know it's not a placebo effect, but
yeah.
what can be the counter of these questions that we are getting from the people?
I don't think it's a placebo effect. I think Reiki healing is very real. And it does depend on the Reiki healer actually. I mean,
Hmm.
when I'm doing my healing, I'm channeling my guides who are bigger healers than I am. I'm
Yeah.
channeling Yeshua. I'm channeling Mother Mary. I'm channeling Lord Ganesh. I'm channeling Archangel Raphael, who's the
Hmm.
healer. So
Right.
it is not me healing them. I'm the vessel. I'm using
Yeah.
the symbols, the Reiki symbols, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I am saying the prayers over the parts of their body that need healing.
Yeah.
And I did that to my husband's mother the other day, and
Yeah.
she's got a lot of health problems, bless her. And
Mhm.
I don't know if she felt much, but she just said she felt relaxed. So,
Yeah.
it's kind of for us. We're on a learning journey too.
Yeah.
We have to give it from your soul. From your soul, people feel it.
Right.
I do not think this is made up. It's not in our mind. It's not in our head.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's real. I think it's a real energy that we are channeling. And we have to
Yeah.
make sure, Chitan, we have to make sure that we channel the right energy because there's lots of
Right.
energies out there and some are
Mhm.
not good, And so you've got to make sure that you channel your guides that you're using are powerful and they can channel the energies that you need to heal. I did Reiki on another friend of mine who's got many health problems. She's an older lady and she said she felt amazing even the next day. So this is like, you know, I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, but I am sure most energetic healers out there will do their best to help people. That's why they're doing it, you know.
Right, 100%. Because I have done Reiki myself, and like it's
Yeah.
I'm in the second degree of Reiki, and I can like as a healer, I can understand and I can feel the energy that is coming up from my hand. Like I can literally feel it that
Yeah.
there is a air or something coming up from my hand or
Yes,
something.
exactly. Mine, when I put my hands on like Nick's mother, for example, she felt
Yeah,
it was very hot. I felt the
yeah,
sweat. I was starting to sweat. I was like, oh my God, this is getting really hot. So you do the best you can. And I think that with prayer and with your guides actually is very powerful. And
right.
it's definitely not a placebo effect because it's like saying prayer is a placebo effect. Is prayer a placebo effect? No, I don't think so. I think there is a live, universal, beautiful energy and our guides as well, and our ancestors as well, actually, Chitan, because they have a big role to play in guiding us. The right ancestors, they're with us. Like my grandmother is with me from my mother's side. She's often come through in dreams and visions. She's there. And it's knowing how to connect with that as well. Our world, we're never alone. That we have guidance. And it's knowing how to connect and tap into that guidance, you know.
100%, 100%. Hannah, I can understand like we will not be able to share the symbols and some prayers in this podcast because that is one thing that we can do just
Sacred.
one-to-one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like this is not like good to share all those things in the internet. But if we can do something or if we can share something with the audience that they can connect more, like as you told us that there is a right way of channeling the energy, because if you're
Yeah.
not doing it in a proper way, like you can channel a wrong energy. There are a lot of negative energy in the world as well,
Yes. Yeah.
like, as there is
Uh,
positive energy.
yeah.
So is it possible to sell some steps like how we can channel the energy from our side, like how we can figure out like this is a good energy or bad energy or something, like if that is possible?
It is possible. I mean, this is one of the spiritual gifts that we need to develop. Everybody who becomes aware of energy, that's part of what I teach on my course as well, is
Yeah.
learning to discern energy. What energy is it that you're channeling or bringing in? There's
Mm.
lots of, it's a difficult one because there's lots of, if you're starting out, I would definitely say, learn with a teacher or learn properly if you're serious about it. Learn with a teacher who's got a good credibility, right? I know my husband has because he started the Reiki Federation. So
Right.
he was one of the first 4 founders of the Reiki Federation in the UK. So for
Mm.
me to learn with him, I wouldn't have married him if he had a bad energy anyway, but to learn to actually channel good energy and sit with it, you can feel if something is off. Use your intuition. I would say it's very subtle sometimes. Use your intuition. If you feel something is off, discard it. Bring in your guides for protection because everybody has guides, even if you don't know who they are. Bring them in for protection. Always say a prayer before you start. And then I would say go for it and see what you can bring in and what you can channel through. Don't be afraid to do it because you've got to learn.
Mm.
I've had some negative energies come in a couple of times, and I've had to clear them. With the help of some other people, we had to go to. This is a whole other discussion, so I'll only say it a little
Yeah.
bit. But we had to talk to a Hindu priest to help us with something that was quite strong and negative around us, and he's
Mm.
cleared it with Shiva, Lord Shiva, and Hanuman energy. So you need to find the right people. So pray for that and believe that and trust that they will come. People can do it. You can know when something is off. It will feel off. Energy. It will feel constrictive. It will feel like it's constricting you rather than expanding you. So that's the thing you need to. If you feel like something is trying to shut you down or put you or you're hitting a wall, it's a negative energy. You know.
Mm. That was my next question. As you told me that you had something like a negative experience as well, I wanted to know like how did you notice that this is something negative, or how did you got to know like is there is something negative going on, and is there any
Yeah.
specific symptoms that you have faced, like you were getting ill, or is there any specific symptoms, or that is
That's a
just experience?
Yeah, we did have a specific symptoms. It started about 3 years ago, actually, and I was standing in front of my altar one day, and I remember the exact date because we just came back from the passport office, and something came and hit me on my head. It literally went through my hair, and it was like
Okay.
trying to scrape my hair. And actually, Chita, and I have some hair. You can see the marks.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, 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 yeah.
This was a
Of course.
recent thing. This was a recent thing when we went on holiday. I had a weird dream. In the morning, I woke up and I had 2 big cuts on my arm. And there was nothing wrong with the hotel. It was a 5-star hotel. The bed was fine. There was no springs coming out. And I thought, I've been attacked. I knew. I knew. And I talked to a friend of mine who was in Portugal, and he confirmed it. And we basically just cleared it. We cleared whatever it was. These things are it could be linked to black magic. It could be linked to spiritual attack. If you are very spiritual, it often can come towards you. And so one of the things we have to learn as well in life is it doesn't always affect everybody, but those of us it does affect are mostly on a mission or we have something more to do and these things come and try to stop us. They are what I would call jinn or demonic, but there are
Yeah.
many different types. There are many different types, but it's this thing started 3 years ago. We tried to find many people to try and help us. We went to several priests and shamanic people in the church, and nobody could come close to helping us. People would say, yeah, there's something negative, but
Yeah.
this can go very deep. And the Hindu priest, he explained to me that it's
Yeah.
like going to a GP or going to a heart specialist. You've got to find the right people because the right people who are the heart specialists are sometimes hidden away. They don't advertise that they do this sort of work. So you
Right.
have to find them, but they are there. And I think it's good to become aware of it. I haven't enjoyed being scratched or anything, but it's good to know that our God is higher than this and that
Yeah.
whatever spiritual practice we keep developing will keep these things away. He did the removal and it worked. Thank God. So but we struggled for a long time to try to remove it because we think it's gone. and then the next day it'll come back again and start trying to scratch your hair again, and it's like, what the hell is this thing? It was quite scary
Right.
in some ways. It was
Yeah,
depressing.
it's scary. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like if that is one thing that happened to me, like it is very scary, like getting a cut in your hand, like in the morning, like oh my
yeah.
God,
It,
it's
it
depressing.
is, but I would say to anybody who's experiencing that, you probably have a mission here on earth. You have a deeper sense of wanting to do some work, and something is trying to block you. So go and do the research, do the spiritual practices and the prayers to help you get ahead. I found a brilliant Christian prayer that really
Yeah,
helped to keep these things at bay, but it didn't totally remove it. And when we went to see the priest, he studied with his guru in the Himalayas, like
yeah.
when he's been studying spirituality since he was 13, and now he is able to he can easily see when someone's under influence of something negative, and he can
Mhm.
remove it. So he was a genuine thing, and he didn't charge us any money. We just gave a donation to the temple. So I
Yeah.
mean, the people are out there, they're just sometimes hard to find, and sometimes these attacks are not as obvious as this. Sometimes they could be just like a mood attack, like you feel very depressed or very low for a long time, or your
Right.
business could go crazy, and you think, "Hang on, my business was doing very well, and now suddenly I'm finding that I'm losing my clients," or it
Mm.
happens very rapidly. So again, you have to be your own Sherlock Holmes. You have to pray and say, "Guide me. Am I being attacked, or is this just a normal thing for me in life?" Because you have to
Right.
learn how to differentiate the two. And if you are being attacked, please get help, because there are people, I'm sure there's lots of people in India who can help with this sort of thing.
Right, right. If you're experiencing something like that, like you can connect with Hannah as well. So I'm going to put all the links in the description. And you can
Yeah.
also check out the 12 months program and like all the links. So go ahead, like talk to her. Like Hannah, what would be the best platform to reach out to, like where you are most active?
I'm most active on Facebook actually, and it's under my name, Hannah Esseling. Or you can go to my website, which is yourinnerlight.co.uk. Alternatively, we do have there's an Instagram page called Your Inner Light, and also a Facebook page called Your Inner Light. No, sorry, the
Mm.
Facebook page is Your Inner Light, and the Instagram is Inner Light Igniter. So there's a bit of
Right.
different page, but yeah.
I will
So
put the links in the description so you can just check out and just contact her because like this is something very scary. Like I haven't experienced this in my life and I don't want to do this as well. But yeah, this is something
well,
that is real.
I think if you look at Indian mythology or even in the Bible, like Jesus did remove demons from people. If you look at a lot of Hindu mythology, a lot of my friends are Hare Krishnas. They
Yeah,
are always telling me about the devil and the demons that Krishna destroyed or whatever. So
right.
it's always there. It's in front of us. But
Yeah,
how much do we really believe it, or think it's a myth? Or do we
yeah,
know that these dimensions really exist? The thing is, Chitan, a lot of people don't want to talk about it because it's scary, it's negative, it doesn't make spirituality fun. But
yeah,
and that's it's important to be fun and loving and heartfelt. But it's
yeah.
also important to know the flip side of the coin, because there is a flip side of the coin. You know,
Mm, right,
you
right,
know.
right. 100%. Hannah, like I can see like you have weird like you have crystals in your hand, like I can see that. Yeah. So that's amazing. Like I'm also a big fan of crystals. Like I have a lot of crystals in my home, in my offices and everywhere.
Yeah.
So like what is the belief system of yours about crystal? Like do you think crystal help us or protect us from negativity, or there's like different type of crystals that we can use for different purposes? What do you think about that?
Crystals can protect us from negativity. They probably couldn't protect me from what we went through, because that was a very deep kind of, it was like going to see the heart specialist type of crystal needed, and we couldn't find one. But things like tourmaline can definitely help. I find even rose quartz quite calming, clear quartz quite calming. Um, and there's a few others. I don't have a huge specialism in crystals. We have a lot around the house, but that's
Yeah.
because some of my friends have recommended me to put them here, so I have them around the house. But I think they're beautiful. They do absorb energies. They need regular clearing under the moon or the sun, and
Mm.
or even with salt. And apart from selenite, I think that's the only one that doesn't. But Yeah, they can definitely help. And I think they can also enhance the vibration and the energy if you're looking to do energy work. Like, lighting incense, having beautiful crystals in a room, and setting your intention with that, they can help elevate that. So that's really good, you know.
Right, right. So there is just three steps of wearing a crystal. Number one, like you have to clean the crystals. Number two, you have to energize, like keep it in the moonlight in the evening. That is going to help us to clean and energize the crystal, and then put your intentions into your crystals. Like what do you want to?
Yeah, I think you can definitely do that. And you can work with the energies of the moon as well, like with the new moon or the full moon. There's people I
Hmm.
know that use crystal work around that time for their
Yeah,
rituals and things like that. So
yeah.
protection rituals or wanting to have manifestation rituals, things like that. But that's a little bit beyond my specialism. But I know some friends who do that, and they're very good with it. They're very good with it.
Amazing, amazing. It was amazing. Like the time that I had with you is amazing. Like I have learned a lot of new things from you as well. So guys, like if you want to connect with her, like all the links are in the description. You can go ahead and connect with her and check out the 12 months program. That is also insane thing. Like it's I think in your website there are multiple details and everything about the
Yeah,
program.
my website again is Inner Light, www.yourinnerlight.co.uk, and there's a whole page, there's a landing page on the Practical Mystic and my contact details. People can contact me and talk to me. We can have a free 15-minute discussion to see if it's suitable for them, if we're connecting, and then they
Yeah.
can start the course. I mean, it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to people coming forward. Or
100%.
alternatively, they can always book for a reading, which is an hour or 40 minutes of different pricing with that.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Yeah, you can book for a reading as well. Like that would be amazing. And
Yeah.
guys, like if you want me to do a part two where I can discuss and go deeper into the things that happens to her, like what was the exact story, or like if you want to do a part two, like let us know in the comment section. We are definitely going to have a part two as well. So it would be amazing. Like I'm very happy to host this podcast with you. Thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for all the valuable information that you have given us.
Thanks, Chetan. It's really good to talk to you and to meet someone who's so enthusiastic and ambitious in doing this work. It's really lovely. There's a lot of Indian guys actually coming out from India, I think, like, Bare Biceps and all that. Watch his stuff.
Yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah.
really good. I know he got into a little bit of hot water, but he's out of that now, hopefully. So, yeah, some of the guests that he had on there were amazing, like Rajesh, can't remember his name, but Rajesh, someone or other, I was listening to all his talks about Shiva and
Yeah,
Kal Bhairava, and
yeah,
amazing.
I can't remember. Yeah, I have seen that podcast. Yeah, he's very famous in India, like for the podcast thing. Like he
Yeah.
have started podcast, I think, in India. And there are a lot of other people as well in India who is hosting this podcast about spirituality, and this is one thing that is growing amazing day by day. Like people
Yeah,
want to know about this, and they're getting the benefits, they're getting the help. That is the
yeah.
reason like people
It's
are
really
getting
nice to have
referrals.
that. That's what I'm saying. It's lovely to have that you guys coming up in India to do this because a lot more people need to be aware of it worldwide. And this shows the reemergence of people wanting to find out more about spirituality as well. They want to know who they are and why they're on the planet. There's a huge awakening planet wide. So that's powerful, I think.
Yeah. So before wrapping it up, like there is one last thing that I wanted to know. So if there is somebody who is watching this video till now, so I can understand like they are super interested and they want to start their spiritual journey and they want to understand what is their purpose and how they can take it from there. So I would love to know like if somebody is watching this video, like what is the best practice that they should follow in a daily basis that is going to help them to start their spiritual journey. I think they can start doing meditation on a daily basis. They can start journaling. What is your recommendation on it?
Yeah, I think the main recognition, the main thing I would say is to make sure the recommendation that I would give is to make sure that you are ready. And
Yeah.
every different things help different people. For some people, it might be meditation. I mean, journaling personally, that didn't help me that much, even though I'm a writer. Ironically, the journaling didn't help me that much. But things like walks in nature, I know that sounds a bit like what, but that what you do when you're in nature is God's playground. You kind of switch off and their thoughts come to you. Let them come to you, because they say when the pupil is ready, the teacher appears. That is very true. So meditation, I would say prayer as well, because prayer you can ask for the guidance to the next step, and also walks in nature, and also just talking to someone who might be on your level or a bit higher, who you trust, and like a mentor who you think is a good person, like a good local priest or someone you feel an affinity with. They can also guide you. So those are the steps I would say. That's for being practical. Start doing that. Journaling is good if you're going to take notice of what you're writing down, and it's going to mean something to you. You know.
100%, 100% correct. Like, I think finding a right mentor is a game-changing thing. Like, I got
Yeah.
a mentor in my life who taught me about Reiki, and that is one thing
Yeah.
that introduced me to like the spiritual industry, and I can feel the energies, I can understand about this, and that helped me a lot in my life. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let's wrap it up, and thank you so much, Hannah, for being in my podcast. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.